So I want to show one of these last predictions that you had made for Bitcoin 2 months ago, which was the thing that finally got me to do it your way, wait for a confirmation. Um, I was
For the
very
trade.
big before that. Exactly. I
Yeah.
love picking, what do catching and falling knives. I used to love doing that. And then it was this video this time that it actually clicked for me. Let me just play it real quick here.
When we're pulling back like this is to wait for a big enough pullback in this short-term trend. So from here to here, that would be the high, the low and the high. A 50% move on Fibonacci would be at that 64 line, like I was mentioning. A 618 retrace would be at the 62.7, somewhere around this point here. So somewhere in this zone is where I'm trying to pay attention, right? Where this is where we tend to pull back. But I'm not really interested in getting in for that longer term upward move until we've confirmed a bounce off of this level by closing above the EMA that will start to show up at that point. And I use that short-term EMA as my guide for whether or not we've confirmed right back up to the upside. At that point, that becomes the higher low that has now been confirmed here. But the market needs to retrace here, find some full extension or full retrace here, and then confirm above the EMA before it's time to head back up again.
And that is precisely what occurred. If I could not believe how accurate it was when I went back to my charts when that actually happened afterwards. So that's this area you're talking about over here in the video. Sorry, over here. And then, so you talked about that we would have this breakout. Let me actually draw the trends. That we'd have this breakout above the level, that we would have a pullback. And then as it pulled back over here, that would be the cue for the launch up.
Yeah,
Um,
I think the prediction I had made there, I was expecting a bigger pullback, but it didn't end up happening. The pullback had already occurred at that point where your mouse is right now. That
right.
was the pullback that started the extension. So you could have considered that a confirmation zone. I was looking for one more pullback at that point, sort of a short-term retracement to confirm the extension, and it had already been confirmed by that point.
Yes, that's right. So that's the first part of it. But later on in the video, you said once it breaks out over here,
Mhm.
then it could. Because I was saying, well, after this breakout, would you confirm it over here? You're like, yeah, it should pull back here and then before it launched off,
Yeah,
and
for
it,
sure.
it did it twice. And so I didn't listen to you over here, and I missed out most of this move.
No.
Yeah, I missed out on most of that move completely because, in fact, I think I was short. I think I was short. I was short there, and I was furious. I mean, these moves we wait for how long? Like we wait for months before you get those moves, and I completely missed it. And I think from then on, I was like, okay, forget it. I'm never gonna do anything without getting my confirmations, and I'm looking for these types of pullbacks and using them because it's so easy to be in this. It's so easy to be here,
Mhm.
not even before, and think that, well, I just confused myself that I should come back down over here.
I see what you mean.
And and so when I got back over here, it's like, oh, well, we got it back. When we got back over here, I figured we have to get back down there. So I short, think I'm gonna get back down here and then move up, and completely missed it.
Yeah,
And
waiting for that confirmation tells us whether that higher high there was important. Indeed, it ended up being important.
that's right.
That's right.
I didn't see that at all. So I was super grateful for that very hard lesson. But and then since then, anyways, what you showed me with the VWAP stuff has helped me in consolidation zones, because the consolidation zones VWAP is just fantastic, I find. So I've been grateful for that. But I'm never gonna miss those. I don't think I'm gonna miss those big jumps ever again.
Let's hope not.
So right. So here, you're what would you be looking at over, like you would need like to regain this channel before you felt it was bullish again, or you just have to make it a higher high versus this guy?
That's right. Yeah, that more recent retest there, that retrace that occurred. If you were here, I'll just run the Fibonacci here,
Sure.
just to give you a sense of what I would be looking at here. So from here to here, it already pulled back to the 0.5 line, which is a fairly healthy retrace, and then it continued from there, right? So if we're just looking at the continuation of this move should mean that if we don't break past this 0.5 level where I just measured, then maybe it pulls back and retraces a little bit further to the 0.6 line. So let's push this move out a little bit further. That would push price back up to 101,500. And then if we don't push beyond that level, or if we do push beyond that level, I'd be looking for, of course, a retest of the most recent high or the all-time high. Then we move into a whole new range potentially, but this just isn't really enough of a correction for me to say that this whole range is confirmed. So I'm expecting further downside from here, and I think today's price action could tell us whether or not that's going to happen. If we don't break any higher than this 99,008 level, this could be the confirmation of a lower high again, and then we push back below and post a new low from here.
So one of the final things I want to ask on this is that when I make statements like the chart bounces off, let's say an EMA, and the amount of that move, and if it makes a new high, the amount of energy in that move, am I being, from your perspective, like silly to use physics terms as far as like literally the energy of the bounce, that if you don't make a new higher high in that bounce, that you just don't have enough, you know, energy, kinetic energy in that move in order to make it? Or am I just thinking about, it's
No, I
not
think
useful to
you're
think that way?
describing volatility there. That would be the same thing as measuring ATR or even just measuring volume. Volume would be coupled with the kind of energy that I think you're describing there. Most of that energy we saw occur back there in the beginning of November when volumes had spiked up well above the moving average on volume that pushed us into this new range here. That volume
Right.
was our leading indicator that this is going to be a continued move here. So things have come down. ATR is definitely coming down. I don't even have that on my chart, but I can tell you right now, just looking at where price action is, we can see ATR is starting to come down, and it's going to pop in either direction here. Either we push back up and we retest this high of 108, and once we get to that level, sellers step in and that pushes price back down again. You'll see volume coupled with that, or we push back a little bit further. If I zoom out a little bit and just kind of look at this whole move as one potential move, just going from the more recent low to the more recent high, then I would expect it to pull back once more to either the $85,000 level or the $80,000 level before we come back and retest this high again. So I do think that, ATR in general, volume in general are helpful indicators to tell us whether or not there's some importance to the price action that occurred on that day.
Right.
And I don't think that's silly to look at it that way.
Okay, excellent. Okay, I like that.